Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I'm your host, Stephen G. Gaxiola, and you are listening to The Raider and the Saint.
Anybody here isn't up to it? I'm gonna give you one last chance to walk out that door right now. That's a good one, Todd. Good! That's what I wanted to hear. Because in this silver slice of heaven here are 1,984 ounces of beer. Golden, delicious beer. And no one leaves here until we finish every single last drop.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are back. This is episode 77. Once again, I am your host, Stephen G. Gaxiola. And yes, you have tuned into the Raider and the Saint podcast. Today's date is May 2nd. The year is 2021. Crazy things are going around the world, but no matter what, we're going to stick together. We're going to fight through this. And through that is by getting educated and being aware. Like they teach us at work, be aware of your surroundings. Scope it. Look it out. Use the proper tools. Use the proper footwear. You know how we do it over here. So, want to thank my past guest, Jake Duddy. Jake Duddy was on the podcast last week, a good friend of mine, a coworker. Thank you for coming on the show, sir. And I'm talking fast because I'm excited for this podcast. So, if I'm talking super fast, it's because I'm excited. But yeah, shout out to Jake Duddy. Thank you for coming on the show. It was an honor to have you on. Look forward to having you on soon. But once again, I want to give a couple shout outs real quick before we get on with this podcast. I want to give a shout out to my friend, good friend Freddie Morales. He's a loan officer. If you're looking to refinance or looking to buy a home, just look him up at mortgagemorales@gmail.com. That's mortgagemorales@gmail.com. My second shout out goes to Wimpy's Pawn Shop in Azusa, California. If you guys are looking to buy or pawn any type of stuff or sell, look him up. My cousin works there. Shout out to my cousin. I wouldn't be able to do this podcast without your support. Everything you see in the studio, a lot of it's been donated. So thank you once again for Wimpy's Pawn Shop. If you guys are looking to go, the address is 750 West Foothill Boulevard. That's 750 West Foothill Boulevard in Azusa, California. My third shout out goes to Blue Chew. Chew it and do it. Thank you so much. You have changed my life. Everything's going good at home once I got into Blue Chew. So if you're looking for some Blue Chew, just go to bluechew.com. Look it up. My fourth shout out goes to how did you say your lady's Tarch Graphics? Her website.
Oh, her website.
Yeah.
Tarkgraphics.com.
Tarkgraphics.com. That's Phil Rivera. He's here. Once again, welcome to the show. But he's here, and that is his wife's graphics business. So if you guys are looking to do cards and stuff like that, just look her up at tarkgraphics.com. Let me spell that out for you. TAARCH Graphics. My fifth shout out goes to all my listeners around the world. It's amazing that I'm here. It's crazy that I get to come in here and do a podcast with great men, and the podcast is growing. So just thank you so much for all your guys' support, family, friends, listeners from around the world. I got Germany, Belgium, Russia. I got Brazil, Mexico. So thank you so much for tuning in, man. We're growing over here at the podcast, and I'm just here to give you guys the real deal, give you guys what's going on in the streets. So once again, my guests today are fellow coworkers of mine. They're fellow Teamsters. We are union brothers, and they're here today to give us awareness of what's going on with the union. If you're a Teamster and stuff, you know we got a contract coming up for, or not a contract. We got votes coming up for new, people in the union. So my guest today. Introduce yourselves.
Wayne Addison.
Julio Moncada.
And then you got Phil Rivera over here. No, man, what do you guys do within the union?
What do we do?
Yeah, what do you guys do within the union?
Well, we both were stewards for a long time. But what we do most of the times every day is our UPS job, and try to still go out and educate members on what they need to really accomplish and what they need to do to keep everything going. That's pretty much on a daily basis.
What made you guys want to be shop stewards? What made you say, you know what, I'm going to be a shop steward? Because it's not an easy thing to be a shop steward. It's a tough job. And me having this podcast and being more aware of people coming on the show, man, it's a tough job, man. What made you guys say, hey, man, I want to be a shop steward?
Well, ever since I started at UPS, you start realizing different things. And so I always stood up for myself to what was, when the company's trying to enforce some rules upon you that are not really contractual and stuff like that. So then that's how I started developing my own skills and looking out for myself. But then when I used to see like other youngsters or other employees, other drivers, or that wouldn't stand up to themselves, I took it upon myself to, give them advice or stick up for them, even though I wasn't a steward yet. And then that's how I started getting known. And then they would always come to me, even though I wasn't a steward. And then one day we ran an election and I won the stewardmanship position because I had already, we're all stewards, you know what I mean? If we all have the same contract, and if you know it, and if you know your rights and everything, you could stand up for what's right. So that's how I started getting involved, because you see a lot of stuff that is not right. So if you're just one of those
guys that are just looking out for people.
It's
like,
my
listen,
character.
sometimes people are shy, people are nervous. Everybody has a different characteristic, and to be able to see that and be able to help people and give them the help they need, because not everybody is shaped up to be a leader. Some people just, hey, I'm just cool in the middle, bro. But if I got something going on, like that's how I am at work. I know my rights because I read my contract book. I look at it, I know my rights, and I ask questions. But I don't expect them to back me up all the time unless there's a point where I was like, okay, I need a shop steward present because we got to document this. This is how I feel. But you guys do a good job, man. Both of you guys do a good job. You're doing a great job. I'm very proud of you. But you guys have been tier 1 shop stewards in my eyes, right? You guys got all my respect in the world. I appreciate what you do. If we can, this is one of the issues that I had is you guys got canned, right? They took you guys out of your position. And I know I'm probably jumping in a little early, but this is, I don't write questions down. I just, everything just comes out. You guys were replaced. You were settled down. We don't have to tell how it happened, but how is that right? That two guys that represent the people and that care about the people. I mean, you just talked about it, man. I want to help people. Get taken down. Does it become? I mean, does it become just politics now? I mean,
it's wrong. You know what I mean? It's wrong, and the members know it. The members know it's wrong, and you can't. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, look, they're always going to use, like, well, it's not in the bylaws that I can't take you out. Well, if it's not in the bylaws, then you can't. You should respect the voice of the members, because
grab the mic and hold the mic, dog. Take the mic out. Yeah, you're saying some good stuff, man. I want it to sound good. Yeah, pull it that way. There you go, man.
What I'm really trying to say is that you should always respect the voice of the members. You know what I mean? So members come first, right? So respect their voice. I was voted in. And if it's not in the bylaws, then you should respect the voice of the members. I should be voted out by the members.
Exactly.
Because they're the ones that voted me in.
And we've done that before, yeah.
Yeah, so they know, the members know, the members know what's going on, and they're not happy with it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is right now.
Yeah.
So that's, it's not right, And,
and to tap onto that too, that's exactly basically what it is. The members have to realize that what they are doing out there is they are the union. It's not just a local. It's not just a steward. It's not an idea. They are the union. They are the ones that make the decision. They're the ones who get cast the vote to make. They check that box. Now it's up to people like the local or the IBT or the joint council or even as stewards to try to help fix that. That's why keeping members informed is the exact reason why sometimes you shouldn't remove people who are informed. The questions are still going to come. Being removed is probably the worst thing that you can have happen to you. If you're removed by the members, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Truthfully, that is.
And we've gone through that in our center before.
That
and,
is a different story.
And it's still respect, you know, when somebody, and some people, you know, it was too much for me, and I didn't think it was this much work, and you know, it's not for everyone. But you guys have been shop stewards for years, man, and I don't feel comfortable going into the shop. I mean, obviously, I go into the room with you.
Well,
But it's like uncomfortable.
Julio feels with it, you know, but there's a certain point in time to where it's almost like you could take the hood out of somebody, but you can't take the somebody out of the hood.
Yeah.
It's just like that. We're never going to not be somebody's going to come ask a question to. For as long as we've been doing these things and the ideals of how this should work. Like people say, oh, I know my contract. I know it. Oh, I know my contract back and forth. The difference is do you know how to interpret that contract? Do you know how to interpret it to what it was used for or what that language is for?
Yeah.
If you know how to interpret that, then you really don't have a problem. But really all it is you go do your job. You have a certain set of rules. That's all that you need to worry about. When you are in trouble, yeah, you're going to need somebody like a Julio or a Wayne or a Steve or these guys who are stewards or Phil. You're going to need them.
I'd like to spin off of that and
Yeah,
add
Phil's on the
that,
show.
you know, these gentlemen here both, knowing how to interpret it is great, but at the same time, bigger part of it, I believe, you know, in getting involved and going through this and learning, is actually knowing how to navigate, even though you know how to interpret, but you got to know how to navigate not only with the employee, but also with management. And both these gentlemen have the skills to be able to navigate through situations and know when to make the left turn or the right turn, move forward or move backwards. If you don't know how to navigate through those situations, it's really not going to do much good, or you're going to run into some issues.
Hey, congratulations, by the way. The last time you were on, you actually won the votes and became shop steward. So congratulations on that, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I thank everybody for that. I appreciate their support. And most foremost,
you're working hard, dude.
The gentleman sitting here with me, Wayne Addison, and also Mike Roberts. You know, without these two gentlemen and, you know, starting from the beginning, you know, them helping me, getting me to where I am, I wouldn't be doing what I am today, you know. So, and I have the support of Julio Mancara and a lot of other stewards in out of Anaheim and also out of 396. And I'd just like to say thank you to all those gentlemen that participate in helping me through this.
Look, dude, at the end of the day, what's done is done, removing us as stewards. But in the members' eyes, we're still like their stewards.
Oh, yeah.
They still come to me. They'll text me. They'll call me. They want my advice. I'll lead them in the right direction. You know, throughout that whole building,
You're like a teacher,
I steward.
dude. Like you're teaching
I
now.
steward throughout the whole building. Anaheim, I'm respected. The part-timers, other centers, you know, and it's just like when I got removed, it's like people were like pissed. They were like, what the heck is going on?
Well,
you know what I mean? You're removing the power. You're removing who was always there looking out for them, you know, keeping them out of trouble, just in between the company and them, making sure that they were getting treated fairly and that the company wouldn't step on our contract, you know, enforcing the contract. But I'm going to say, like, it's like they still respect me as their steward. So they know, and a lot of them want that back.
One thing was
the bottom
that
line.
was confusing too is when we did a petition, right? Get to be able to pick our shop stewards, right? We did that.
Correct.
We did a petition, sent it in, and they did a voting at work, right? You go to work, and get there early, you vote. One thing that pissed me off, this is me I'm a paying union member, and I'm definitely respect the union that I'm in. One thing that upset me was that they didn't even say that Wayne was going to be taken off the ballot. They just had 3 names. Like, how? I mean, is that okay for them to do that? Is that just a sly way of, like, doing something like that? Because that's not right. If maybe Wayne didn't put his name on, maybe I might have put my name on.
Like I said, that's again taking the voice away from the members.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got 100 on. I got 137 signatures. I got my whole center and some saying that signing a petition that they want me back as their steward. And did that get respected? I'm still not a steward. So, there's a lot of questions to be answered still.
Yeah, man, we're all in this together. It's the beef. I mean, I guess that's politics, or that's how they do it. Within the White House, you got the Democrats and Republicans, and
Members have the right to choose their representation.
exactly.
And that's really how it's always been. So if you go past practice, you go way back when, we've always had an election, even for alternates. We've had an election for those too.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't walk through and just say, okay, you're a steward.
Mm-hmm.
That's dangerous. In my eyes, I'm sure everybody at this table's eyes, it's dangerous to appoint power to someone who really hasn't been in that position to do so. So that's a lot
of power, dude.
A lot of that's been going on now for a couple years now. We're coming up on a few years on all of that. The main goal at this point is to, again, keep members in focus. Keep your eye on the ball. You don't work at UPS for an hourly wage unless you're at the beginning. You work for it for a wage, a lifestyle, benefits, the numerous things that come, and a lot of those come with a union job.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the ages of 10 years left, let's say, you got 10 years left in your career, you have to really think about it this way. How am I going to make it through my last 10 years? And that's 2 contracts away. I'm going to go through 2 more contracts. That in itself is scary for the person who only has 2 contracts left. The guy coming in before, he's not scared. He's just seeing, I don't see the end of the tunnel yet. I just see how much more money I want to make during that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why when it comes down to who you want to represent you or who you want running your livelihood, you've got 2 different sections there. You've got the new people coming in, and you've got the people who are getting ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a steward and still trying to keep members focused on the fact that myself and, like I said, Julio and Phil understands this too, is I want to leave this place the same way I came in. For you.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
For you. Because that's how I know this will keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know this will continue. And that when you get to the point to where I'm at in my career, or Julio or everybody else, you'll understand that point and know the reason why you should have went back and said, shoot, I should have checked that box. I should have checked a different box maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the focus. Our focus now basically is...
Or union members who have retired, are they still allowed to vote?
No.
No, they don't vote no more.
No.
They just sit back and collect checks.
They can stay
They're
involved.
depending on us, and we're going to
that's
depend on
true.
the younger generation.
Right.
That's why we got to educate these members
Right.
to what's right, because when we're retired, we still need them for another 40 years, and then it just keeps going like that. You know what I mean? And if they're not being educated the right way now, then it's kind of scary, So we got to take care of business. We got to let the youngsters know, and even like older drivers, some of them have never even voted before, and that's very important to cast your vote. You're a union member. You pay dues. It's your right. It's your democratic right, and you should vote.
Yeah, that's definitely a signal that still has to get out. As union members, we fight for rights not only in the workplace, but we fight for the right to be able to vote and be able to use our voice. And that's what the younger generation coming through needs to really understand. An hourly wage is one thing. Working for that hourly wage and keeping it going is another.
A lot of guys listen to the podcast that work in the hub because I started listening to podcasts when I had a route. It was all residential. That's how I got into podcasting. Years ago, I started listening to podcasts. I got tired of listening to music. I would listen to stuff that gets me pumped up. I'm fucking running all day. I'm young. I'm in my 20s. And I stumbled upon podcasts because there's no one to talk to. And I got tired of being pumped up on music. And so I started listening to podcasts. And one thing about podcasting is a lot of people in the hub that listen to my podcast, shout out to those guys as well. When they're loading trucks, they just throw in the podcast. So it's just like it's killing a bird with two stones. You're at work, which is a good thing. You're gaining your seniority. You're making money. And then you're learning about your rights as a union member.
Right.
And they listen. And I said, man, this is perfect, because we got to get to the young ones, right? When I was young in the hub, I've done everything from pickoff to loading trucks, working in the air building. I was a hazmat auditor. I was a hazmat responder. I was a clerk. You name it, I did it. Just because that's the type of person I was. I wanted to learn everything. And so now it's the same way that I'm older. I'm learning more about the union stuff. But if I was younger at that age and I was really involved in going to union, who knows where I'd be today. But the knowledge is there. And the information is there. We just got to find a way to get them involved. And this is an avenue, is what I'm saying. Like, this is another avenue, and it's crazy, man.
Reaching out to them is hard.
Because you
talk to them
guys
every morning. Everybody has a loader.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has an unloader.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So having that and having the ability to speak to somebody or just talk to them for a moment. I mean, a lot of us in this room right here, we're here in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1997, the younger generation doesn't realize that there was a strike at UPS
Mm-hmm.
that lasted 2 weeks and I think 3 days.
Yeah, I walked that picket line.
And during that 2 weeks and 3 days,
I started in 99.
see, I
just missed it.
Our wages back then were decent. They were better than most other jobs were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there was also the health care that was going to be taken away or stripped away. There was subcontracting that the company wanted to do. Basically, they wanted to turn the UPS job into a part-time job. Whereas they could just say, you know what, hey, we're only going to have you work 4 hours today. See you later. That's it. Okay, UPS was trying to go that direction at the time.
How is that compared to the Amazon drivers? Are they kind of using that model maybe? That same model that because look at what happened in Alabama recently.
That's kind of what their direction was, because the company felt like they didn't have to pay these wages, and why should we continue to pay for any health care? Why should we have to do that? If we turn everybody into a part-time position, we don't have to worry about that. But the entire nation was shut down. And I don't think the company might have known. There might have been, okay, this might last not too long. They might just come back and take whatever we want to give them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after the first week, the company realized just how important that job is and how important it was to every member of the Teamsters that worked at UPS at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That just said, okay, we're going to go walk a picket line. We're going to give up our livelihood. And
is that a possibility again?
A strike? I would say no, but because I think everybody who's been
we
there
showed
now
our strength and we know what we're
we understand
worth.
it, right? But the possibility of being put on strike, yeah, that's always a possibility.
Mm-hmm. It seems like they're
even with the vote coming up now. So
yeah, that's where I was getting to.
I want to give a shout out, and Julio probably may too. I want to thank every member first of all for voting in the last delegate election. I want to thank every member who voted.
Hey, thank you for voting, man. Let's get it going.
Not going to take this vote lightly.
Let's go.
And in our election, we won 8 of the delegate spots and 3 of the alternate delegate spots.
Yeah, so for the people that don't listen to the show, there was an election within our local. It was to vote for delegates that when we have our main primary, which we got it right here, the shirt. Can you throw up the shirt to the camera? It says Teamster Power Slate. Shout out to the Power Slate 396. We got, how do you say the first one? I know Herrera. Vierma and Herrera. Congratulations, man. You guys are going to represent us well. But so we had within house, we had a voting for delegates. That way, that's how they cast the votes. Each house gets the vote, and who's going to represent us in the national Teamster election. But you guys just went through an election. you guys are out there promoting and stuff. How did that turn out, man?
Yeah, it's the Solidarity Slate.
Solidarity Slate. There you
Slate.
go, right there behind. Solidarity Slate. That's what's up.
Yeah, the Solidarity Slate, and we kicked ass, dude. We kicked ass, and it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work, and it took a lot to get it out there, communicate with the members, get the members involved, you know, trying to educate them on what was going on, why we were doing it. And
You were telling me you were getting up at 4:30 in the morning?
4:30 in the morning, going out there, hitting up different barns, passing out, you know.
We were getting up at 3:30 in the morning to be there.
To be there
Yeah.
at 4:30. We were driving everywhere. We had our route set up, and then we were still going to work, doing our 12 hours as a UPS driver. There were some long days, but that's how we got successful, communicating with members, letting them know, seeing us out there not only once, twice, 3 times, and we did it at UPS. I've never seen more unity, and because of what's going on right now too, it made us even stronger because of like the members' voice being taken away from them at UPS. A lot of it got a lot of members more involved, and they wanted to learn more about what was going on, and we were telling them about the Solidarity Slate, why they should vote for us, and who we were backing, the Power Slate, and that's all because of our future, their future. You know, so it was a lot of hard work, and we were very successful. Like Wayne just said, we got 8 spots out of 12 spots, you know, and members are happy. They're more involved now than ever. Members I never heard from before were texting, who won? What are the results? They wanted to know. And, you know, some of them even got a little confused because when they heard that we won, they were like, the next day, a lot of them looked at me and they're like, so are you back? Like as a steward.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's, that's how we did it. It was I think it was 7 weeks of campaigning.
Yes.
7 weeks of
Yeah,
campaigning.
because you guys are scheduled to come on so you guys can campaign.
It was
But you
way too
guys'
much.
schedule with I can only understand, dude. Getting up at 3:30, man, that's a commitment.
It
You
was-
guys didn't have to do that to get voted in to be shop stewards.
It was taking
But, like,
days
what you guys-
off to go full day. You know,
Yeah. You
4
guys should have
a.m.
did you
to
guys document
5
it?
a.m.
Look, and
Do you guys take videos and
A lot
stuff?
of
Yeah,
a lot of it
pictures.
was on the Facebook, Instagram, and
Are you waking up
Twitter.
at 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah,
Well,
pictures,
after-
everything.
taking
Put my
pictures,
solid
they're
there.
all out
No,
there.
I know you guys were. Hell yeah.
On my story, I would always post it when we were out there. And then I want to thank everybody that was there for us. You know, there was other locals that had our back. They campaigned with us. I want to thank what is Local 630, Local 848, Local 396, Local 186. A lot of these people got involved because we were educating the members and we were speaking the truth to the members. And you're not going to have that many locals standing behind you if you're just trying to throw shit at the wall to see what sticks. We were actually speaking the truth of what's going on and letting them know that their future is very important. And this is where it starts. You got to vote. You got to make sure you vote. So thank you to everybody that was out there standing by our side.
Yeah, there was a lot of support. We do really appreciate it, but there is a lot more to do. There's still a lot more.
A lot of work, man.
This is a win. It's a big win. It's in my mind our Joe Biden moment, maybe.
Joe Biden moment.
Our Joe Biden moment. But no, from here, this direction goes now to the members are going to get another ballot.
Yeah, so what's next? What's coming next for the voters, the union members? What can we expect next?
Voting for the IBT position. There's the power slate. We're the Solidarity's backing. The
So
power slate.
IBT is International Brotherhood of Teamsters. They're having a big. It's amongst the whole Teamsters. We're
Hoffa's
having a
going to
big-
retire.
Hoffa's
So
retiring.
somebody needs to take over his position. So there's the power slate, and then there's another slate. So, I mean, we want to back up proven experience, and look at our our pension has been strong for 65 years already out here in the West, and we got people on the power slate that sit on that chair for the Western pension. So it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go and back somebody that comes from failed pension plans.
Yes.
That's not gonna happen.
Yes.
There's really not that much to talk about.
It's pretty. It seems like it's pretty just black and white, dude.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, you can't take care of your own house. What makes you think that I'm gonna let you come take care of my house? So that's why we're backing the power. I'm backing up the power slate. I think we all in here.
And one thing within the voting we just had, we won House because most the people who won on the solidarity slate, our vote goes towards the IBT. And we know that at least we know our house is voting for the right people because we could have lost that, right? That was pretty close.
Close in the general vicinity of there's a lot of people that you could have more votes. That's why the importance of, like Julio said, that the importance of voting is the member's voice to say, here's what I want. Here's the direction I want to see this place go. So as delegates and alternate delegates, there's a week long. I can tell everybody right now the international convention is June 28th to July 2nd. So during that time, they will do amendments to the Constitution, the IBT Constitution that we all follow the rules and how we engage. There'll be other entities there. Everybody out there realize that the Teamsters is not just UPS. It is bigger than you know. It's huge. There are so many crafts within the IBT, Puerto Rico, Canada, that these all come together. And during that time, we will be casting our votes as delegates to say who we want on the ballot. The members have asked us to go. We back the power slate. That's who we're going to vote for. We're going to put them on the ballot for you in November.
And it's this vote for the IBT is every 5 years. The delegates is every 3 years.
I've gone to them. I've gone to conventions.
This is the most important vote that there is.
They're waving the bat in the air, dude, like that. I was like, holy shit, what did I just roll into?
And like I said, the power slate, they have the power, they have the knowledge, they have the experience. And you know what? Like, it's going on everywhere. The gap between the employer and the employees is getting bigger. So I think that the power slate has the power, the knowledge, the experience to bring that gap closer. You know what I mean? Because, the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer, bro. And you need to start closing that gap. There's many other barns, many other companies. People aren't getting what they deserve. The employees are not getting what they deserve.
That's what pisses me off with happening at Amazon. They call them union busters. Did you hear about that? The union busters. They went in there. They almost had it. They almost had the union being implemented. Can't even say my words anymore. Implemented into Amazon, and then they brought in some union busters, and the vote came down, and they voted no. Like, how could you not want what Teamsters? Union members get, man.
I spoke to an Amazon driver just this past Friday, and he pulled up right next to me. And I said, how's it going, brother? And he says, okay. I said, is that something you can make a career out of? And he says, no, probably not. And I said, that's amazing. So how many hours are you working? Do you get overtime? No overtime. Straight hours.
And
he
he's
works
working
4 10-hour days.
What? So that's not a state.
You can work 4 10s if you sign into a contract with 4 10s.
Yeah, they do contracts.
There's differences of how you can work, and if they're a contracted driver, then 4 10s is what he signed up for. Now, I'm sure he's probably working more than 4 10s, and they're just telling him you're only getting paid for 10 hours a day.
Man, they don't know. I guess they don't know then, huh?
Well, we
got rights,
dude.
About
Alabama and the vote.
Oh, he
and how
did?
they voted it down, and he was.
I thought it was a for sure shoo-in, dude.
Yeah, he thought that was terrible.
I'm looking out for the people, dude. It's okay to go and work for a big company. The guy makes billions, but if you're not getting what you deserve, then
you need somebody to bring that.
You're just making that person richer, then.
Yeah.
Well, he's getting richer.
Yeah, dude, he's crazy, dude. And he's smart. I'm not going to take anything from him. He's a smart guy. But
You know, one thing we've always said too is we don't mind if UPS and the other crafts make money. Okay, but the fair share of why they make their money is because of the members. They don't make their money. We make that. For
dude,
them.
they leave stuff in the driveway, like in the carports and the apartments.
They just want to get done.
Dude, they just like throw it over the fence. And
They're only
gone.
getting paid for 10 hours, man. They want to get it done and go home. That's it. Yeah, it's it.
Maybe because they can go find another job making the same. You know, we can't do that because we make good money.
One
we have
thing-
good protection. We're not gonna leave stuff on the sidewalk, and we protect what we have. Maybe these Amazon drivers probably think, well, I'm not making anything here. I can just go find another job somewhere else making the same. I mean, that's my opinion of why they can be careless sometimes.
One thing I respect about UPS, did I give them credit for it, and union a part of it as well, it's seniority, right? You start from the bottom, you work your way to the top. It's simple.
That's the union.
Oh, that's the union.
UPS
the
would
union.
not have it that way.
Oh, they really?
That's in the
Oh, okay.
contract.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
Teamsters.
Oh, I thought I was like, yeah, that's a good what they do. But no, it's
UPS would rather send you home and have somebody else work at a lower
like a
wage.
24-year-old, huh?
Making less money.
Making less money. Absolutely. That's your contract.
That's a good one right there.
That is your contract. And that's what we fight for. But that's also why the members have to realize that coming up in November, you're going to make a 5-year decision.
Mm-hmm.
That 5-year decision is
Could
going to
hurt your
affect you
pension.
in 5 years. And yeah, you look back at, I think it was 2000, I want to say maybe 8, if I do the math right, at a point in time where we were taking half raises? We were getting
What
a
year was
raise
this?
in August, and then we would get
Oh,
a
yeah,
raise in
twice a
February,
year?
Yeah,
right?
twice a
So
year.
we would get the full raise in February, but we'd only take half of it. in
Where we're
August, and
losing
then we'd
money.
move through. A lot of the reasons for that is so that UPS could save money. And the reasons, from my understanding and how I was told this was happening, is that money was to help the failing pensions that were already starting to fail. UPS knowing and everybody else knowing that if those pensions had failed at the time and somebody is liable for that there could be another strike. Because if you're not going to help pay my pension and we're out of money, and you could go on strike basically for a lot of things.
What was it we made just past? What was it? The first quarter? I think we profited, or UPS profited 2 point
something billion.
Yeah, 2 point something billion.
Which is
The total
again-
revenue was like what, 22 billion? Those numbers are like,
again, that's great,
that's great, yeah.
right? Because we are all sitting in jobs that
are
are a career.
Yeah,
that are
it's a future.
retirement. Exactly.
We all got something waiting for us at the end of the tunnel, dude. Our retirement, and that's what we got to protect. We don't.
And people, and the young guys that are loading the trucks, I know you guys are under pressure, but you guys got rights, man. Load that truck nice, man. I had a route, dude. It was a lot of medical supplies, and things are always busting open, and I would go and I'd go like, well, who's telling you to load a leaking package? You didn't just put it there and it started leaking, dude. It was already leaking. You threw it in, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, I have to wait 2 hours for someone to come out and clean up this mess. And it starts with them. It starts with you guys. It starts with you taking care of the package, and you're gonna see what happens. But that's just one occasion. I'm not saying that they're all like that. You know what I mean?
A lot of those people, if they realize the longer that they stay there, that they'll move into that same position, and they'll be yelling at the new guy. Hey, dude, come on, help me out here. I've always told my loaders the same thing. I know you're going to have a bad day. Don't put it on me. You can put it on that manager or the supervisor all day long that you want. And, hey, you're going to have guys like us that'll back you on that and say, hey, yeah, you're right.
I think I have to do more.
But just don't put it on me.
Yeah. I'm not a morning
You're
guy.
going to make a mistake. Nobody's 100% perfect.
I'm not a morning guy, and a lot of times I just get mad and just like I just carry it to the day. But you're right, man. I have to break out of that, which I have. Break out of it and just talk to the guy. Like, hey, man, how are you doing today? Bring the guy a breakfast burrito or a Red Bull. Here you go, dude. And just tell him, like, hey, man, just start teaching them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's how our company got to where it is, because we all did teach people.
That's
I've been taught by other drivers.
That's the brotherhood
is about.
The
It's
brotherhood.
brotherhood.
Take your
Exactly.
time. Let them know. That's part of educating them too. Getting them to vote because look, UPS is the golden goose of all these other barns that
yeah.
we are part of. All these other barns are doing their. Some of them, and I hear a lot of them are doing their job and exercising their vote, their right to vote. But UPS historically, we don't. We take it for granted. I mean, I vote. I'm sure we all vote in this room, but we need to get everybody to vote and get involved so that other people are not deciding for us, or like you don't complain later, but you didn't vote. So that's why you talk to your loader. You let them know, because that's how it starts. If you're teaching them how to load, then talk to them about voting too. About how important it is to be a union member, a Teamster. We got to where we're at because there was many other fights that were fought before us. So it's our turn to step up, and everybody that's employed has to step up and vote. So we could keep this legacy going.
How many members do we have?
Yeah, how many members do we have at UPS?
I
At
think
UPS, we're probably
300,000. I think
Well,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
no.
in our local.
Oh, in our
Probably
local.
about maybe 4,000.
in our local, the UPSers, we make up
Altogether?
between two hubs, Laguna and Anaheim. We make up. We're almost like we're about 4,000,
Yeah, about- I
5,000
think it's
members
about 4,000 members.
of 9,000.
And then within the local, what other companies are? I mean, we basically have more employees than everybody else in our local because we have what
Right,
we
if
got
you, look,
CVS.
if you look at the locals in whole, and some locals are a little bit different because they don't carry a big conglomerate of UPS. They
Yeah.
might carry more like YRC,
Yeah.
GKN, Bimbo. They might carry some different crafts, but they don't carry a lot of bigger in the way that they do. But if you look at the Teamsters as a whole, you're up there in a 300 and some odd thousand number of people that are all affected under one way or the other by decisions
Yeah.
that are made at the top.
UPSs make up about a third of the Teamsters throughout the nation.
UPS is their biggest client. That's pretty much the.
I was just trying to make the point, or bring up the point that, how many members we do have at our local, but how many members do actually vote on average?
Dude, you got a sexy voice, bro. Ah, damn, Phil.
How many?
Well, it
members
was
vote?
20% of the membership that voted. That's not even half
Right, not even half.
of in.
So how many people voted this last slate for the delegates? How many? How many?
What was it?
Did we-
1259?
It was about 2,000, a little bit over
Over
2,000.
And how many members are within our?
There's
our
about
local?
9,000 members.
Holy shit! So 7,000 people didn't
They're
vote.
taking it for granted. You know what I mean? You can't.
There is a difference between fat and happy and fat and broke. Okay, which one are you going to choose? You could be fat and happy, but you better be able to, step up and want to be fat and happy. And it takes hard work. It takes voting. It takes your voice, asking the right questions, getting the right information, not just, sitting back and saying, "Oh, I don't have to worry about anything," because that could change in a heartbeat.
Injury. You could be
Anything.
a flyer. I'm off
Absolutely.
at 3. Boom. Next thing you blow knee out.
Absolutely.
Now guess what, man? You need representation because now you're not that same guy, and they're gonna come after you. But hey, man, I see that you were like two steps slower than yesterday.
Yeah.
Like sheesh, talk about micromanaging.
I might have been 2 steps. I might have been 2 steps, but I did gain a year on my life. I did.
Yeah,
I'm working longer hours. So yeah, there's you could lose 2 steps. That's okay.
I just wanted to. I know I said what I said, but I also wanted to point out that the members that don't vote, part timers, you guys don't vote, male and female. I mean, we don't think. I never thought I was going to be 30 years at UPS. But just knowing that you put in 5 years of time, you're vested after 5 years.
Correct.
A lot of you youngsters don't realize that. Things change. You never think that you're going to be somewhere for an extended period of time. But when you hit that 5 years vested and you go to retire or you decide to leave the company after 5 years and move on, I'll tell you what, later in life, you'll be collecting a nice pension check after 5 years. So your
5
vote,
years.
your vote does matter. It does count. You guys and girls need to get out there and vote and participate.
And they make it so easy to you. They mail it to your house. Go on to upsters.com and change your address. You know, that's the one main excuse is, oh, it probably got sent to my mom's house. I was like, come on, dude. Like, and then it's crazy when people are trying to log into their stuff. Like, I don't remember my password. I don't remember my pass. Well, how do you not keep ahead of, like, it's being informed? Like, no, some people just show up and go, what? What's this? Like, don't you take the exams? Or what are they, training videos? Go, don't you read up on that?
But look, little by little, and I saw it a lot when we were out there with the Solidarity Slate and we were campaigning, we had more UPSers getting involved than ever, especially with the Solidarity Slate.
Mm-hmm.
There was rank and file members out there in their Browns showing up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, helping us campaign. There was part-timers that
Dude,
were
you should have
communicating
videoed
with me.
everything, dude, and make like a little movie out of it, dude.
I
Because I
saw-
saw some of your
Yeah,
pictures.
But see, the sole purpose for us campaigning is for the reasons why those two names are going to be on a ballot. We didn't want to make it too much about us. It's more about them. Everything we're
yeah,
doing
you just tag them on everything you
is
do.
about them.
Yeah.
Part-timers that I was communicating with were educating other part-timers
Yeah.
on who to vote on, why. You know what I mean? We keep saying, yeah, vote, but you got to make sure you vote for the right party. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got. That's why you got to educate yourself, not just vote blind. You know.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot. I saw a lot on how UPS got way more involved than ever this last
UPS got involved?
delegate election. The members, yeah, I saw a lot of. We mobilized a lot of members, and I think it goes back to a lot of what's going on.
It's
you know?
history, man. History is about to be made. Hoffa Jr., that's it, man. Close the
Retirement.
books.
Since 1998.
Yeah.
1998.
Yeah, and it's
Close the books.
and it's always been over
It's
there in the
history,
East
too.
Coast, you know. So
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, I know that I listened to the Herrera podcast. I think it's called, what's it called?
Uniontown.
Uniontown. If you guys want to learn more about union stuff,
I've heard it.
Uniontown, yeah.
I heard him
His
on,
first episode was Hoffa Jr., you know? I was like, holy shit. Like, that's the first episode.
I think I heard one with it was Ron Herrera and Abel Garcia from 186. I listened to that one. It was good.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff is getting put out there. And you got your guys' positivity and you guys' hard work, man. It makes me work harder. You know, it makes me more focused when I come into the podcast and I come in and do my thing because this is a big part of my life. For the people that listen around the world, I am a Teamster, man. It's a big thing and it's a big deal for me. And for me to have you guys here and inform me, not just me, but the audience is amazing, man. What do you guys want? What do you want to touch base on, man? You guys got any stuff you guys want to talk about? You want to take a break? We can take a break.
Kind of.
Hey, I just wanted to thank everybody for wearing the shirts.
Oh yeah,
The
you told us
shirts.
to wear the
Yeah,
shirts, man.
the shirts that I came up with this design. It's a bilingual. You know, it's in the back. It says orgulloso, means proud. Proud of being a Teamster. There you go. Orgulloso de ser Teamster. And in the front, it's got the sindicato. It's the union, sindicato in Spanish. You know, it's union. And I'm slapping I put the Teamster patch on American-made shirts. You know, that's what it's got to be. Got to keep it American-made. You know, and
Hey, is it only Shop Stewards that can get jackets? I know some people walk in with the union
You
jacket.
can get jackets that
Oh, I
just
thought
won't
you had
say
to be-
steward, you know.
Oh, yeah. Some people come in with jackets and go, man,
Or
that's
you could just have it
nice.
sewn on and nobody would know the difference.
Or go to the Santa Fe Spring Swamp Meet on Sundays wearing
Just
it.
have it sewn on. At this point, it doesn't matter.
Hey, look, there's a lot more stuff I want to ask you guys. We're about an hour in, so we're going to take a quick break.
All right.
And we'll be back soon. All right, folks?
Sounds good. Right on.
All right. We are back from a little break.
Refreshed and ready to go.
Refreshed and ready to go for another segment. I'm going to go past my usual hour and a half, and we're going to have a great podcast, one of the best ever. What do you guys think about the new people in charge of representing us? Is it, the tactics they're using? I mean, is it tactics that we're like, hey man, we can't support that? Is it the tactic they use? Is it the maybe because they're not knowledgeable of the contract and not good at defending it? I mean, what is it?
That's just a good touch on a word. Lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is the most important thing in a steward or your local or anywhere else in local leadership that you need. You actually need them to be able to think on the fly.
Yeah.
But what you don't want, or what you don't really need, and what we never had at 952, is more of a mentality of we're the boss and you'll do what we say. That type of mentality doesn't really work, and it doesn't work with our new generation either. As stewards, or when I was a steward at the time before I was removed, most of every member has never seen me lose my cool.
No, man, never. Even on the golf course.
I've lost my cool on the golf course, but that's a different frustration right there. No, it's you want to keep things on an even keel. You want to keep things almost like having that side of you apart from what's going on with that member, because you have to think right now what's going on and how can I fix this? How can this get fixed with the least amount of damage? We'd said something before about when keeping you out of trouble. I think that was the word somebody used. I need you guys here to keep me out of trouble. I think what you really need us here for is to keep your job. Keep you working at UPS with the least amount of time away. Warning letters, they're going to come and go. Everybody in this room, I'm sure, has gotten a warning letter. 1, 2, maybe even more. Everybody listening has
Like
probably
a handful.
received their warning letter.
I don't like receiving warning letters, man. That just means I'm not doing my job. And I take my job, I'm a professional, right? I get paid good money. I gotta go to pension. I gotta go retirement. I'm going to be the best professional, which means I'm going to take care of my customers, come first. Obviously, safety is up there too. But I make sure I get rid of all my packages.
Yeah, I mean, that is our job, right?
Yeah.
Our job is to start the car, know what we're supposed to do. We have all been trained very well on what we do. Every job, you've been trained on what you're supposed to do. Just go ahead and do your job. Once you've completed that task, if there's anything extra for you to do or earn more money, seniority steps in and you get that portion of it. Mm-hmm. But there are times where you're going to make a mistake, and that's what trying to get everybody to understand that mistakes will happen, and everybody should be allowed to make a mistake. Just don't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
that's the easiest way, I think, and I kind of learned that coming through. I mean, I didn't become a steward until almost 1998. Right after the strike, was just asked because I would come in and I would be a little more vocal. Once I had about 7 years under my belt, I became a little more vocal when it came to somebody saying, hey, if the manager or supervisor said, Gaxiola, pick up the pace, and I would say, why don't you ask him, please? And I would just go about my business. And I don't know if people just heard that or understood it, but then we had an election in our center, and somebody said, you should put your name on there. And I remember Bobby Hahn was the business agent at the time.
Okay.
And he kind of knew me through the UPS Golf Club and all those things that we did back then. And so he says, oh, you putting your name on there? I said, yeah, put my name on it. He's going, okay, good. So when the ballots came, I remember walking into work that day. I was parked out on P12. I checked my box. I put it in the thing. I went up. I did my work. I really wasn't like, I didn't think I was going to win that. I mean, I'm a new guy 7 years in. I don't think this is really going to be. I mean, if I win, I win. Okay, I'll figure it out. And then Bobby Hahn walks out and he hands me a union book and he says, "Okay, you're the new steward."
Wow, like that, huh?
And then it was, okay, now I really got to get my stuff together. It's not all just about walking in and yelling at somebody or telling them to
So
say,
the local
"Please."
did the local get a hold of you and say, "Hey, we're gonna put you in a class, or come talk to the president or the business agent"? And
No,
just sit you
immediately
down?
there was a steward. We used to have steward breakfasts every once. What was it? Every first Friday of the month, we would have we would get together and we would talk about issues and whatever else. And that was my first real meeting that I went to. Going down to the hall, I really wasn't active in that at the time. I was active in kind of learning what the union was because I was still that new.
You just you wanted to help people, like, hey man, like,
Yeah, I figured this would be a good way to help and actually get myself more knowledgeable. And so once I went to that breakfast and then I started hearing what was going on, and give a little shout out to a new retiree, Wade Parker, who was the other steward in the center at the time.
oh yeah,
I remember
Wade Parker.
filing my first grievance, and I walked over to Wade and said, "Okay, what do I fill out on here?" And so Wade kind of just walked me through it. And then from there, it was just each and every night, take a little bit of the contract and read it. Take a little bit more of the contract and read it. Find out what my rights were. Find out what I'm allowed to do. And having the work ethic, which I think is even more important, even at our local or anywhere else in leadership, a good work ethic is going to benefit you immensely. And I had a good work ethic, so I knew the job. So each and every time I would go into the office with somebody, I put myself there first. If this were me,
Damn.
so if this were me, how did this get created, and how do I limit the problem? But never would raise my voice unless it was actually absolutely necessary.
Yeah, because me, if I was a shop steward and someone came in and I know too much about them, right? Let's say, people that have lost their jobs, and you tell them, like, hey, man, you got to stop this. You got to stop it. As a shop steward, you only could go so far before, like, you become that friend. Like, you want to be that friend. Like, hey, dude, Mike Roberts said this to a coworker of us. We know him. I'm not going to put names out there, but he said this, and this one stuck to me too, because I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. He says, man, we're in there. He goes, man, I only got so many bullets in the gun, dude. He goes, and I'm out of bullets. And I was like, you can't get mad at that. You can't get mad at those situations because you put yourself there. We can only go so far as having union representation, but once you know, like, hey, man, I need to go start going to bed earlier, or I got this habit that I have, or anything you got going on, if it starts affecting work, you got to leave everything at the door once you walk in and your job is there. But once that stuff starts coming from the outside in, it's hard for us to defend. It's like, well, I can only defend you in here and go according to the contract. But whatever you got going on out there, that needs to change. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand too. A lot of young drivers, they think, they're unstoppable because they're making numbers and they're doing their things. But eventually, the stuff that you're doing, it comes to an end.
Yeah, the rules are there. Everything is there in front of you. Everybody, I think, knows them and understands them. And just like you said, you can't take what's happening at home and then try to bring it to a job that we have and try to do 12 hours with that weighing on you every minute of the day.
Yeah, if you have someone that's sick or you just had a kid, you have rights. There's FMLA, there's state stuff where you're able to come in and work a certain amount of days. I mean, me, I'm in it. I have medical conditions and I'm allowed certain days off a month. And I obviously the company ain't gonna tell you, no, you got to go and learn on your own. But when people do those things, they feel like they're being targeted. Because of and I think that's unfair. And you, the one who told me about FMLA days, you told me it went from 4 to 3, right. And they were trying to come at me for 2. So I can talk about myself, obviously, on this podcast. And so I already knew, and then I confirmed with you, and then I was like, why do they do that? They're testing us.
Right.
We're being tested. Like going back to the new regime that's in charge now, people are doing it. We're being tested at every angle. That's how I feel, and I'm on top of my game. I'm making sure I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's.
But that's
Is that healthy for people? Like I shouldn't feel like this is one thing I talked to the driver. I shouldn't have to fear for losing my job every morning I come walking in. And this is from a driver with 28 years driving, 25 years safe, of course. And we had a conversation one time, and he told me that. He says, man, I every day I come in, I fear for my job because of these missed scans or because of just nicky picking. I was like, is that because of the new people in charge that are representing us, or is that just, or is it change of times?
No, the change of times comes with technology.
Yeah.
Technology is going to change the way UPS does things in the next 5-10 years. As far as the misscans or whatever the issue is, that's why there is a set of disciplinary rules.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is in fear of losing their job, then they've had 5 shots at it to get it right. If you look at it that way, right? You've got your warning letter, your 1 day, your 3 day, your 5 day.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had those bites of the apple to fix whatever the issue was. But our job is to not get it into that position before it happens, right? Let's weigh it out. Let's see what the problem is. Was it 1 box? Was it 10 boxes? Does it really make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did. I remember a young Julio Mercado walking into the building one day. Hey, bro. Hey, what's going on, man? Wants to get involved. Wants to like really get himself out there. So we started talking about. I think it was him. He a cigar. Or he's got. Hey, I heard
how many
you smoke
years?
Cigars.
How many years you got? Shop Steward.
It was almost 22.
22, and then we got 30 years.
I got
27.
Yeah, I walked into UPS
27.
in June of 1990.
90, yeah. I was 99. So you're like 31 years?
31, yeah.
It would be 31, but full time is 30.
Damn, dude.
I'll hit 28.
Really?
May
you guys
12th,
look young too, man.
I hit 28.
It's a
And
good
I-
work ethic.
It's worth ethic.
I
Going
first
back to
became
work ethic.
I first became a cover driver in Tustin Center. That's how I met Wayne.
Yeah.
And I heard Wayne used to smoke cigars, and I smoke cigars too. So I remember one time I gave you a cigar. That's how I met you. I still remember that time on
He gave
P12.
me my first Cuban machine wrap. I was like, what the hell is
A
that?
fake Cuban.
That's why we're smoking
He goes,
cigars.
it's a Cuban cigar. And I'm like,
Hey,
I don't know this guy from Adam, but I've never seen him wrapped up so neatly. But yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all smoking Cubans, huh?
Yeah,
It's all the same seed.
exactly.
Yeah. And then when I first became a steward,
This is good, man. This is really good.
yeah, it's I get those in Orange. Look, they got a little cigar shop over there next to at the Orange Circle.
Orange Circle.
Yeah, and when I first became a steward, I would always go to Wayne for advice. Wayne has been a great mentor of mine through my stewardmanship. I would either make a phone call to Grant or Wayne, but Wayne, at that time, Grant was a business agent and Wayne was always on the floor. So before I ever even went into the office with any member, I was already educated on what I already had a plan. I had already investigated everything. I already knew how it was going to turn out. And that's the way I always steward. And it always turned out good, man. I'm a very successful steward. I did it for 7 years, almost 7 years. And thanks, Wayne, for being there for me.
We did we had a case once. We won't mention any names.
Yeah, of course.
It was kind of handed to Julio because the problem had started in our center. The driver from his center was loaned out. So a problem happened. It gets handed in Julio's pocket. Julio's wondering what the heck's going on. It happened down there. Why am I dealing with this guy down
I think I
here?
remember something like that.
So he came down and he says, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. So immediately hearing the story, I told him, okay, here's what we'll do, right? He had already gotten a bunch of information. I said, we're going to get this, and this is how we're going to start working it right now. He's like, you sure? I said, yeah, we're going to work it right now. We're going to get in front of it. because him and I could tell immediately that there's something that's really wrong with this. It's just not right. And based on knowing those issues coming forward, because we've been in cases like these that we've seen already, this is what they have, this is what they don't have, this is what's going on, we were able to put together a case without even moving it forward. We didn't even have a local come in. We didn't even have anything else come in. We just attacked it, but we attacked it right at the top level. And the division manager at the time, and I think everybody understands who she was at the time, was very hands-on, very, very hands-on. But our relationships that we knew of her, and by working with her and filing grievances, you know, sometimes with her name on them, we were able to work this case together, and the guy's got his job. But it was fun working it with him because it was, we both had a teaching moment.
You're like detectives, dude.
You read
Yeah.
my mind.
Hey, that's
we
what
were-
happens with the podcast, dude.
We were calling each other every night. Well, I got this. I got this. Well, how? So, you know, when you're a steward, you're 24/7. You could be on vacation, wherever you're getting the phone calls, this, and that. So I remember working that case with Wayne and calling each other every night. Like, hey, we got this. We got this. We were, when we went in there because we knew we were going to win. We had already dug out so much stuff that just to protect the members. That's
driver,
what we
yeah.
are. You know, we're the frontliners with their lifeline. You know, they depend on us, and that's why it's good to take advice and especially learn from everybody. Listen to what everybody's got to say, and after that, you filter out your own situation, and that's kind of how I steward. You know, but that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a
good
lot
one.
of fun. That was a lot of fun because there was a lot of questions that, should I go ask for this? And what sometimes people don't realize is you don't want to introduce that yet. I don't want to bring that in yet.
Did you
don't
see the
think-
numbers?
I don't know. I don't know if that's going to help me or if it's going to work against me.
Yeah, just too
And
much
those are the things-
knowledge.
yeah, those are the things that you
Gotta
need
be
to
smart,
like.
man.
You got to be ahead of it before you're behind the eight ball. And once you're behind the eight ball, well, company just says fine, we'll just move it upper level, and then you're out of it.
Yeah, they go, well, why you were there at the stop for 20 minutes for? You know, as long as it's scanned and you have it in a scan menu. But some of my spots are like 30, 45 minutes. I get beat every week, every day. And everybody knows it's not us, it's them. It's what they're paying us. And even though I have a different route, I drive a Wally route now, and I do like 6 deliveries, but they're bulk stops. And those take a lot of time. It'll take me till 1 or 2 to just do 6 because you got to unload everything.
Yeah,
and the
there's
UPS
no
comes at you and says,
measurements.
"Oh, well,
Yeah.
it should have took you 2 minutes." Like, fuck you. You go lift up the t-shirt boxes.
How many hours is that
It's
Wally
8.
route?
Well, no, it's not worth 8. They say it's not worth 8.
So the
It's pretty close.
Plan is under 8, but
Yeah.
you work 8.
Yeah.
Well, how many hours do you 8 hours? You get 8 hours.
I
out
get
of
my
it?
8. Yeah, I get my 8. Take my lunch. I take my lunch and breaks, and it's a lot easier on my body. But my seniority allows me to work on a Saturday, so I come on a Saturday, get my overtime there, and
Right.
you know, I work smart, not harder. You know, whatever's
smarter,
good
not
for
harder,
whatever's
huh?
good for whatever's good for me. You know, but
You know,
one thing that I like is the seniority. You know,
But yeah, well, back to like just how we worked and how we all worked together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a lot of people realize that myself, Grant Mertz, and Julio were all stewards at the same time.
yeah,
Dave
yeah. I remember
McCaffrey.
Grant was a shop steward. Yeah,
We were all stewards at the same time, so we all kind of came up in the same era of the business agents, Bob Hahn, Dan Rafferty, those guys in front of us. That they also helped us too. I mean, and that's really what you need too. You need a lot of backing in those positions. Somebody who's going to back you on a decision. You want to do this? Okay, go for it. Because you trust me. You trust me to make the right decision. And I know the onus would fall on me. Or Julio knows that the onus would fall on him. But a discussion still has to be had. You have to have communication, good communication, and somebody who's going to back you. Do I think we have that right now? No.
It's open season. It's hunting season. That's what I feel.
I just don't think we have the communication part.
Yeah.
The trust and communication isn't there. But that's
Well, through this
that's the way
podcast,
I
man.
feel, and that's why, again, we go. It all comes full circle to voting. Use your voice. Use your voice and vote, people. Even if you vote no. If you're going to vote no, then do it with conviction. If you're going to vote yes, then do it with conviction. But every vote should be with some sort of conviction, knowing that your livelihood is a box check mark away.
Put that up there.
That's it. It's a check mark away. And you could like the fancy new radio you're going to get, or you can like the fancy new things you're going to get during this time that you have this job. But there's so much more available.
As you
to
get,
you.
yeah, I'm
So much
40.
more
I'm 40 now, and
available to
I've seen the difference
Yeah.
in the way they treat me. You know, they want me to be that 24-year-old Gax, and I can't be that 24-year-old guy. I got injuries and ailments, and I'm just. I cared about my customers now. I care about them back then. I care about them now. I'm just doing it at a safer pace for me. I mean, not saying I wasn't safe back then, but, you know, the number one thing is just being safe. And a lot of these young drivers don't know, like, hey, man, you're smashing routes now. That's cool. You're smashing them. You're getting done at 3, walking out good, man. But what happens when you blow that knee out? I think we talked about this earlier. We didn't go real deep in it. But when he turned 40, you're like, they're going to come after you. That's just the way the business runs. And if you don't know anything about the union, never been in a union meeting, don't know anything, you're open season.
Gotta get
and right
involved.
now it's open season.
Right. It is open season, and you have to get involved, people. Each and every one of you. Not just the ones who did vote, but the people who
I do like
who
the
did not vote.
solidarity now. There's a lot more people hanging out in front of the center. You notice that? Even me. I'm getting there like 30 minutes early, and there's a lot of people. And then, you know, you came to talk to me, and then like 2 people came, and I'm like, man, he's busy. I don't even see you. You're like in there battling it out.
I
But
only
see
see you. I only see you in the summer when you go get ice. The ice machine.
Oh yeah, because you're down there doing your. I mean, you're not too far away either, but you got your own battles, and everybody's. But I see the solidarity. Everybody's waking up, and everyone's starting to get involved, and it's just amazing to see that we're doing it, man.
Guys,
You know?
guys that they never said a word before are walking by me saying solidarity.
Yeah.
Solidarity. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot more to come, people. There's a lot more ahead of you.
So what are we going to look forward to? What's next? What's next for us as voting union members? What's the next thing on our agenda?
For the power slate.
The power slate.
Correct.
We talked a little bit about that. Let's go in a little bit more depth. So we got Viarma, and
Steve
Herrera. I'm
and
bad
Ron
with pronouncing.
Herrera.
So we got these guys. We got to vote for them because they're going to protect. I mean, we got to go a little bit more detail for my listeners.
It's the knowledge of what they have.
Yeah.
If you look at the differences between the West and the Central States and the East Coast,
Mhm.
you've got 2 different entities,
Mhm.
all Teamsters, all
Mhm.
working for the exact same thing. But if you see where the West is today versus some of the other places back there,
Mhm.
there's a huge split in how things want to be done.
Mhm.
If we look at the last contract before, so not, what would it be, not 18, but 2013 contract,
Mhm.
when our healthcare, when UPS says we don't want to do healthcare anymore, that contract was basically pushed
That was a big one too.
because the Central States and the East Coast were finally going to get some sort of full healthcare. That UPS said, take your healthcare to a different position. You put it together. You do it. Here's what we can offer you.
Mhm.
And so they wanted to take that healthcare, which was the C6 plan,
Mhm.
and have everybody in the United States under the C6 plan. Works for everybody. Well, if you look at how we do things on the West, it's a little bit different. The West, we are same or better on our healthcare.
Mhm.
So our intent on this end was to put healthcare together for everybody.
Mhm.
We could take what UPS wants to offer and run the healthcare throughout the nation.
Wow.
They did not want that. They wanted this plan. They wanted it to go through. So if you
Who? TDU?
Well, TDU is one of them. If anybody knows who TDU is, I've been dealing with TDU since about 2008.
My listeners know who
9.
TDU is.
Yeah, I've
They're at
listened
the
to
dark
them.
side.
I've listened to their, some of their rhetoric, and
You don't
basically-
agree with it.
no, I do not.
I don't
don't-
either.
I don't agree. I don't agree with someone who thinks you can get better or more in the eyes of already getting better. So, based on that alone, we were forced to vote down our supplemental, which is where our healthcare sits. That put us in a little bit of a bind because we needed to make sure that we were going to be able to still put this healthcare together. So, having the trust that we have in those providers, we put together a plan that far exceeds a C6 plan that these guys wanted to force everybody into. So that's kind of what you end up in international. In international, some of those decisions can be made outside of what you want. And are they really benefiting the decision you want, or are they benefiting the decision that they want? And if you saw the last vote when Hoffa ran against Fred Zuckerman, that vote was very close.
It was, huh?
Yeah, that vote was very close. The differences between the two, one's been running it since '98. The other one has thrown his hat in the ring. Running again, if you look at it the way that we're looking at it,
Was it O'Doul's or was it O'Neill and Zuckerman? Or who's running against O'Brien and Zuckerman.
The other group would be the Oz slate, which is Sean O'Brien and Fred Zuckerman.
so you have two people running. So if you look at somehow how the votes went, this is why it's so important for people to actually vote. Because in our last contract,
Oh, that's why we're here. I'm here to
Right.
protect my
in
pension.
our last contract, you talk about the 2/3 rule. You talk about these things that are out there. You have a rule for that to protect you. If you look at it, yeah, I get it. 2/3 of the people didn't vote, and technically, if you look at the vote, it was a no vote. But in 952, our local, we voted in the contract. It's out there. People can go look at it. So don't let anybody tell you that we voted no.
65% of
Correct.
the members at Local 952 voted yes on the contract.
So we voted yes. So that has really nothing to do with politics. That has to do with the member's voice. But if members across the nation, and usually you'll get a little bit higher vote count in a contract, usually in every contract, than you will in national elections or just local elections. So we really need people to vote. We
So
need
when is this
you
election
to
happening
vote.
again?
It'll be in November.
November, right?
Yeah, I believe the ballot
This year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ballots go out sometime in October.
And when do we vote for our local again?
Next year in
the local election
September,
will be
October?
September.
Not so this September?
Next,
No.
Next. Oh.
2022.
I thought it was
I'm
coming
sure
up already.
You're gonna see the powers laid out there campaigning before to get people to vote for them. You're gonna
Yeah,
see
we have to,
both.
man.
It's
Yeah.
coming up.
There's more things coming down the line. So there'll be a little more campaigning coming up before.
Okay, I thought it was this year, but it's the national that's this year.
There will be information for people to find. There will be information for everybody to get, educated. But educating yourself starts with checking a box.
And this is an intro right here. I'm gonna call this podcast the intro to. I definitely want you guys back on the show, man. It's an honor to have you guys on the show and you guys giving some insight of what you guys been through, campaigning and representing the union. It's a big honor to have you guys here, man. You guys want to talk on anything else? You guys got anything else you want to say? I mean, we're solid, man, on this podcast. I mean, we don't have to go too far,
Look,
I'm
everybody.
enjoying my cigar.
Right.
Oh, you just opened up a new cigar? Go ahead. It's open mic, yeah.
Everybody,
Go ahead, brother.
everybody in this room has a lot.
How's that?
Go
cigar?
for it. Hey, man, it's
smoke
good.
cigars
I'm going to
too?
use the restroom. You guys go, man. You guys keep talking.
we
It's
got
all
you.
good, dude.
We got you. We could fill another hour and a half, 2 hours. What do you got? There's nothing going on today.
Go for it.
I got to roll pretty soon.
No, this is just. This is pretty cool. I like this. It's It's a great avenue.
to inform the members.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like you said, we're still live.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, this is an excellent way to inform our members, everybody out there in our local 952. I talk a little bit about what you kind of threw out there when you mentioned, having the backing. There's got to be a level of trust, and there's definitely not a level of trust where the stewards are fully allowed to just run on their own. There is definitely some control and obviously doubt in our ability of getting things done as stewards. But being the steward in Tustin Center, we both stewards, we run, we do the best we can with what we have. Do I believe, like you said, there's definitely some control, and with that control, there's that lack of trust. So, yeah,
it's going to be, it will be difficult. Because first off, when you're going in there, you're going in with a mentality of, I need to help somebody.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Going in knowing that they put themselves in this position,
Mm-hmm.
and you have no idea how they put themselves in this position.
Yeah.
Whether or not what you're being told is the truth, the
Yes.
lie, whatever the case is. But you have to be able to be confident enough to sit down and say, okay, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've used the term a lot in my head. I may have said it out loud to a couple of managers or supervisors down the road. But is what we are in here for really going to matter in 100 years?
Yeah, of course.
I
think
believe
so.
so.
Well, for the person.
Oh,
Not what we're
yeah.
doing today,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's say they're in trouble for something, and knowing the difference between something that is major
Yeah.
or something that is, okay, this is just
Minor.
this
Yeah.
is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
What's going on here
Yeah.
is really what happened today really going to matter in 100 years. So kind of deflecting back the severity of what management thinks about it
Right.
to, well, yeah, you're kind of right. You know what? Yeah, okay, I'll tell you what. Don't do this again. And then we're out of here. And then having the ability to walk out with that person and say, put your hand on their back or give them a pat and say, hey, don't do that again.
Yeah.
Going back to Mike Roberts, I only have so many bullets in the gun.
Yeah.
I just fired 2 of them.
Absolutely.
I don't have that many left on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. We have that respect, that relationship. I believe individuals, our stewards, have earned that respect where we do have those bullets. But Roberts is correct. I mean, he hit the nail right on the head. We can only pull that trigger so many times. When we're going in there for the same thing, over and over, it's like the member at some point needs to come to the realization, I need to pull my shit together, pardon my French, but, get it together, man. What
Sure.
you're doing,
Absolutely.
So, even myself, it's like, do we really have to do this again?
Yeah, you have to have that father-son talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or father-daughter talk.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
wants
Some of our
that.
sisters,
No.
Yeah.
And-
I know I don't like doing it, but yeah, that's an excellent way of putting it. We all grown men here have children and grandchildren, and you have to sit down with other grown adults, male and female, and get them to try to come to the reality of like, hey, it's time to pull my shit together and knock this shit off.
Yeah.
It's a talk that I don't like having, but I will.
So you do have those talks. I never
Absolutely.
had that talk. I just had the look. You're like, yeah, you're in there for occasions, and it's like you're having a little bit too much fun. It's like, but they don't say it. They just look, they do whatever they can.
Yeah. Yeah, we do the best we can.
Are you allowed to? Are you allowed to tell your brother, like, hey, dog, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you pull your member out. You wait till after. You don't. You leave the office and you either do it outside or you pick up the phone later on out on the road and say, hey.
I have said without the members standing in the room, okay, what are we in here for? And then I'm like, oh God, okay. How about we do this? I'll tell you what. Let's let him off. All right, it's going to be something pretty serious. Let's let him off. I will take him back around the corner and I'll smack him around for you a little bit.
I love
try
that.
to straighten him up.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Allow me. And that was kind of just my way of saying, look, let me go talk to him.
Yeah.
Let me go take him out back. Let me go talk to him. Let me get him straightened out for you because
he's a good driver too, right?
absolutely everybody.
There's
is
a lot of
everybody's a
great
good driver.
employees.
Everybody's a good driver.
Yeah.
Everybody works hard. Even if you're the slowest guy at UPS, you're still working hard. You're still working harder
You are.
than the average person works.
We're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, just stop
doing
labeling.
the same job.
There's not a label, but there are a few.
They have
there
a
are
label.
a few of you out there who know exactly what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely, without a
Okay?
doubt.
You know what you're doing, and to use that as a crutch against somebody who's trying to help save your job or somebody who's trying to get you in the right direction is really the wrong way to go.
I feel like sometimes it's that. Well, my dog ate my homework. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Come on, you're in your late 20s, early 30s. Come on.
I can tell you this though. I've been through a lot this past year with the family, raising the family and everything, and it's crazy because like things do pop up where you're like, I gotta call in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes I say some people got more bad luck than others. That something's always for me. Something seems to always just happen. And I'm just like, man, why can't I just? I would love to work every day for a whole year.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, man. But when you're raising a family, things just, but they don't take that in perspective because
Maybe it is just the new. I don't want to label people new generation, but it's almost like our technology has kind of created almost a different employee in a lot of ways because when they get in the truck, they just follow the next place to go.
Yeah.
This board just tells me I'm going to go
didn't
here
this
next.
past Monday it went down?
I can agree with that. Yeah, you should have
And
seen
how
it.
much chaos was caused then.
Deer in headlights. What do I do?
Hey, you know what? I was
Really?
excited. I was excited because it was old school.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Run the shelf. It's old school.
Old
Just run the
school.
shelves.
You should just do the diet board and you go, I don't need this.
It was good.
Kids, we grew up with Thomas Guide.
Yeah, Thomas guy.
That was the Saturday morning cartoons for us.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
Thomas Guide.
Yeah, we'd put the plastic wrap over it and then we would mark it.
They
On
didn't
Saturdays,
tell us how many
remember
packages
Saturdays?
were
We
in
had
the
to do
car.
air only.
Yeah, no,
It was by 12. Now it's a full day now, but back then it was just everything needs to be done by 12 or we're done.
You knew exactly what page to go to in the Thomas Guide because that was your little section you had marked off.
Yeah, there was no smartphones. Look on your phone, and then now you got the cradle where it tells you where to go. No, back then, dude, it was like here's your packages. But was it a lot less work though? Was it? I mean, would it be like if you were to do it now, right? With everything you have, if you were to do the same work now that you did when you first started, would it be easier? We're like, man, I'm done at like 2. Or was it the same?
It was almost exact. It's almost exactly the same. I think that the thing that we are missing now is writing everything down. Everything was written down. Everything was on paper. Everything was look for as many as you can.
So technology has helped us make it easier for us to deliver packages.
Technology has.
Yeah.
I give them credit that technology at least tells you where it's
More
at
efficient, yeah.
and where it goes when it comes off the shelf. You had a package back in the day fall off the shelf. You had no clue where it went. There was no smart label on there saying it goes on shelf 2.
So you're
or
backtracking
shelf
a lot.
3.
Or
Yeah,
how many
so-
packages we have per stop.
You just try to remember that address is sitting right down here right now. I don't know where it goes in the truck, but it's right down here. And then as you go, you all of a sudden, oh yeah, I remember that one package was in there. But back then too, if you forgot that one package was in there, nobody knew it was in there.
Well, that's why we're $1 billion profit company every quarter. We've gotten more efficient.
we've been able to figure it out, man. Look at
Man,
that, 28
we're like
years.
we're like transhumanism,
We all got
dude.
more
We're
than
like
20
bonding with the
years, huh?
machine. But no, it's just weird how it changes now. You know, the game has changed, but we're keeping up with the technology. Because look at, dude, like that was a perfect example on Monday. Like they hold us accountable for a no scan where I've made mistakes where I scan a wrong barcode and it pops up alternate ID, which I don't even know what that means. And then I could scan a few more. And then look, I go, wait a minute, what is? And the next thing you know, those 2 packages I just scanned get deleted. And then you keep throwing out, I'm missing one. And we're counting. I'm like, no. And then they get you for like, no, the package was right there. I was like, dude, that doesn't make sense. You know,
Yeah.
but technology, you know, I blame technology for some of those things. Because, like, I believe if you want me to be efficient, that's fine. But make sure the machine you give me is efficient. How many of our scanners are busted? How many of the thing that vibrates in there, like when you scan, you got to scan up high, or you know what I mean?
Well, we went from when I first started driving, 60 on an average day, 60 deliveries to 80 deliveries, and now we're doing double that. Actually, more. I mean, I go out, I'm having like anywhere from 180 to 220 stops a day. That's delivery stops. That's not including pickups.
Damn, you're at 220 already?
Well, I'm not saying every day, but I'm just saying it's that's basically where we're at.
Are you using the cradle? Are you using the
Especially,
cradle? You already know where you're going.
That's my route, so I don't really, unless I go
Well,
help
use it
out a
as
driver.
sense, to find something, probably
Yeah.
not. But use it as a sense to, just stick it in there.
But that's what they
Yeah.
want us to rely on that to tell you.
I use it to charge my dad board, so I don't have to worry about the battery anymore on a long day. That's a nice perk,
Well, check this out, man. I know Julio's got to go, man. We're going to cut it short. Not short. We had a good podcast today, and I want you guys to come back on again. Just say your outro, and we'll close up shop, man.
Thank you for having me on here, man. It was an honor to be on here, and I'm looking forward for the next episode. And I'm glad I got to do it with these 2 guys.
Yeah, these are 2 of my
Yeah.
they're respectful people in my center. Wayne, man, you got anything to say?
Yeah, this has been a blast. I've been thinking about it for a while. I know we've had a few times where we were going to come in here and talk to people, but this is a great venue. I want to thank every member out there for their support.
Heck yeah.
Over the years and their continued support. If there's anything that I do that you don't like,
You should be a politician, dude.
I
He's good.
am right in Tustin Center every day. Okay.
No, you are.
I am there, and you have something that needs resolved. Just come tell me, I'll speak the truth, because that's what it should be. It should be just
I
about
see
telling
you there.
What's really right.
I see you there in front of the center. I could talk to you anytime, and if I get to call you, I can call you. You answer, but I'm not going to waste your time, because I know, not wasting your time, but I know you're out there helping people.
Even if you just want to come talk, I mean, it's kind of.
Talk about golf.
I don't want to. I don't want to put some sort of damper on the thing. But since September 13th of last year, I mean, I have had a lot more free time.
Oh.
But it has given me a lot of time to reflect
think,
and do
yeah.
some other stuff that's going on. So I'm still available. Nothing is ever a bother for me. I'm glad Phil's in there. He's been somebody who's over the years is he's gotten himself set up.
Phil's got himself in a situation here.
He asked the right questions. He's
gonna be good though, man.
He
I'm
wanted
happy
he
for
wanted
him.
something to get involved with, and he's gonna do well. He's gonna do well. He's coming in at a bad time, but that's okay, because
So if there's some way
support is heavy.
If there's some way that you can get reinstated, is that a possibility? Or you think like I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, and
I'm not going to be reinstated. It's not going to be just a
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be a click of the finger or anything else. I know that they, whoever the entities may be, whomever it may be, whomever may want to be doing what they do, are never going to agree.
How many years you got Shop Store right now?
It was
22.
22.
22, right?
Yeah.
I like what you're doing, man. You're teaching the youth, and you're informing people. You just didn't stop doing it and just disappeared. Like go in your truck and work off the clock, loading your truck. You still stand out there in front and represent, man. That shows a lot, man, and it shows a lot about your character. And I always respect you for years, and it's been an honor to have
Thank
you
you.
on, man.
Thank you.
Phil, man, what do you got to say, man?
In regards to Wayne, yeah, absolutely. This man goes above and beyond the call of duty. I mean, he's not the shop steward, but he still works as a shop steward. He helps me, I mean, like he said, he's always there. He's a wealth of knowledge. We all go to him. We all look up to him. And it's the same with Julio Moncada, the same thing. Steve Fitzgerald, those gentlemen. I've been doing it for a very long time and know what they're doing. And they're there for the members. That is the biggest thing. They are here for all of our members. Doesn't matter who you are. They support everybody, and they work very hard and still continue, regardless of the situations that have happened. They're still in it, and they're still pounding the pavement, doing what they've always done. Okay, so I'd like to thank everybody too in Tustin Center, all the people that support me. I'd like to thank a very close friend of ours out of 396, Terry Diggs. He's been
who?
Yeah, that piece of shit.
That piece of shit. That's your phone, dude. He's so busy.
Yeah, but we love Terry Diggs. He's a hard worker. Again, very supportive of the solidarity slate. He supports them too. He supports the power slate.
Yeah.
He's a big part of that. So, but yeah, thank you everybody, and I hope you all really take
heed what you've been
yeah,
listening
exactly,
to, man.
and vote. It's a very important thing for everybody to do and be
we're-
involved in.
Yeah, we're taking time out of our Sunday. We could be hanging out with our family, chilling, relaxing. But we're here doing a podcast for you guys, man. Because look man, it just doesn't stop at work. Once you leave and clock out, like, hey, I'm no longer your shop steward or representative. I'm going to go beeline into my car and go do whatever. You got to push it outside of work, which you got to take a little bit of time, because look at your future, man. Look at what you can have and what you can't have. Take a little bit of time outside of work, man. This is the life, man. It's the union life. And that's okay. I accept that, man. I'm a Teamster for life. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. All right? Peace.